Where we are now, I never expected that we'll get to this point. That the number one citizen in the republic who vowed to respect all laws has decided to play politics with a constitutional mandate. The truth is, this constitutional mandate is not a debatable mandate. President Boyka, you must follow the mandate from the Supreme Court. The difference a difference here. Either as a nation we agree to follow a path of chaos, because once you do not go by the rule of law, then you are calling for chaos. We either do chaos or we do calm, where our country is able to move forward, where the hopes and aspirations of our people will be met, where the dignity that carries the name Liberia across the nations of the world will no longer be looked at as a pariah. This is the choice we have today. And that particular choice is led by the President of the Republic of Liberia. He can decide whether he wants a calm country so that he can fulfill the rescue agenda, which I believe is just a story, as I've been saying, or you can open a Pandora's box that will lead us to a place where we don't want to be. I'd like to call on the President of the Republic of Liberia, President Joseph Nima Boakai.
To President Boakai. President Boakai, you addressed the nation last evening, in which you unequivocally rejected the ruling of the Supreme Court. You indicated that you continue to work with the quorum of Rachel Kuhn, an unconstitutional quorum. We have come to tell you today that you still have the opportunity to go back to address the nation again, to wholeheartedly accept the ruling of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia in accordance with Article 65 of the Liberian Constitution. You still have that opportunity. So while you are getting ready to do that address, we are calling on our people in the trenches, in the communities all around the country to begin to organize, to mobilize. So on Tuesday, you'll be hearing from the people. It is your right to oppose and undermine the High Court's ruling. It is also our right to ensure that the right thing is done. And the people have the right to insist, because you are working for us. Mr. Boakai is an employee of the people. My taxes pay him. He is not above me. The most elevated, the highest authority of the land is not the presidency. The highest authority of the land is the people. Mr. Boakai is a servant of the people. We pay him. We put gas in his vehicle. It is our money that we use to build the $1 million car that he's riding today. So you will work consistent with the expectation of the people, or else the people can fire you. It is a right. So President Boakai has a choice to lead, or to leave. He can choose to lead, or he can choose to leave. It is his option. That is why, before I conclude, honorable organizers and presiding officers, long before his constitutional misbehavior, we are announced that there is a day of the people that has been proclaimed for July 17 to hold the polluters of the seat of governance accountable to the rule of law. So July 17 has been calendared, marked as the day of the people, where multitudes in the tens of thousands of Liberians that believe in the rule of law that believed that the economic hardship must come to an end. Civil servants that were unjustly dismissed for political identification to parties. Civil servants that were removed from the payroll because they identify as elements of a single political party. Liberians whose homes have been broken under the false pretense of development.
And the first utterance is that I am not a lawyer, but if you're not a lawyer, shut up. Take this advice also. There is so much to do and that can be done without money. When I assumed the helm as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia and administrative head of the judiciary branch of government, you can ask some of our partners. One thing I told them that my administration will not be going before a microphone and calling upon our partners and calling upon our traditional partners to come and help the judiciary. I told them this would not happen. I told them there are things that this branch of government could do without money. Yes, they say money answers all things, but there are certain things we can do in our various institutions, in our various communities, in our various churches or mosques, or wherever we find ourselves, even in our core group as friends.
Yesterday, April 23, 2025, the Supreme Court of Liberia, our nation's highest arbiter of justice, delivered its ruling on the Bill of Information relating to the ongoing impasse in the House of Representatives. As President of this Republic, I acknowledge the ruling of the Supreme Court. However, we must all note that the House of Representatives' problem remains unresolved. Accordingly, my government has already initiated broad consultations with the relevant national stakeholders to determine the most appropriate and constitutionally sound path forward. We have actively involved our traditional and other national leaders in addressing the matter. In doing so, we remain fully committed to preserving the sanctity of our democracy, the principle of three separate but coordinate branches of government. Fellow Liberians, our Constitution and the Supreme Court have defined what constitutes a quorum for the conduct of business in the legislature. We intend to vigorously uphold this vital principle of our constitutional democracy. We will continue to work with a quorum that will ensure the full functioning of our government. Over the past months, we have watched with growing concern as the division in the House of Representatives remains unresolved, undermining public confidence in our most vital democratic institutions. Tragically, we have also witnessed the torching of the Capitol building, a national symbol of democracy, by arsonists intent on sowing chaos and discord. Today, we received report of acts of vandalism intended to desecrate the dignity of our public institutions and buildings. The police are investigating. Let me be clear, under our leadership, the government of Liberia would not be held by narrow interests or acts of lawlessness. The work of governance will continue.
Where we are now, I never expected that we'll get to this point. that the #1 citizen in the Republic who vowed to respect all laws has decided to play politics with a constitutional mandate. The truth is, this constitutional mandate is not a debatable mandate. President Boyka, you must follow the mandate from the Supreme Court. The difference there is a very clear difference here. Either as a nation we agree to follow a path of chaos, because once you do not go by the rule of law, then you are calling for chaos. We either do chaos or we do calm, where our country is able to move forward, where the hopes and aspirations of our people will be met, where the dignity that carries the name Liberia across the nations of the world will no longer be looked at as a pariah. This is the choice we have today. And that particular choice is led by the President of the Republic of Liberia. He can decide whether he wants a calm country so that he can fulfill the rescue agenda, which I believe is just a story, as I've been saying, or you can open a Pandora's box that will lead us to a place where we don't want to be. I'd like to call on the President of the Republic of Liberia, President Joseph Nima Boyka, the members of the Unity Party, and the members of the Liberian Senate and the House of Representatives to abide by the Supreme Court ruling.
All right. Tune to Spoon to get your information. Tune to Spoon to be part of our discussion. To know what is happening in Liberia. To know what the policymakers are doing. To know what Liberians are confronted with. To know what the real issues are in the country. Like my boss, the CEO, said, the bread and butter issues. You want to know what the bread and butter issues are? Just tune to Spoon, and you will know. I'd like to welcome all of you tonight to another great edition of the program, The Late Night Show, The Late Night Politics on Spoon. We are here live tonight across the Spoon Network, Spoon FM 107.5. We're live on Fabric Radio 101.1 and a host of other radio stations across the country. Thanks to all of our partner radio stations that are committed to always relaying the program. Thanks to Trust FM in Bombay County, Premier FM in Bong, Friend Radio in Grand Crew, Radio Yalamani Seklipi in Nimba County, and all of the other radio stations across the country that are always relaying the program, the Late Night Show, the Late Night Politics Spoon. So we're here. My name is Nelson Collier. Thanks to our online audience, the many of you joining us by means of the live stream on the different social media platforms tonight. We're live on Facebook, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV. We're live on YouTube. Our YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. We want to welcome all of you tonight. Let's have a great show. It's gonna be a very engaging conversation tonight. Great analysis coming your way. We're gonna bring you the updates here as we move on with this edition of the program. We run this show together. You from the comfort of your homes on the other side of the screen, and we sitting on here together. We run the show, and I want to welcome all of you to tonight's edition of the program. Well, a lot to talk about tonight. I'm going to bring you the updates very shortly, but just before doing that, let me welcome a few of you joining us already. I see you're engaging in the comment section. I want to read a few of your comments coming through tonight, and then we can move on with the update. Kindly share the program as you come on tonight. I see Ruth Goba. Yes, Ruth Goba is an ardent follower of the show, and most times when the late night show doesn't come on, she will call in and find out what's going on. Ruth Goba, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you tonight, ma'am. I see Abraham Amara Dunor is here. Thanks for joining us. My dear sister Locke Ruth Stewart, thank you for joining us. Filoso, that's Filso Yuma, Saliet Vincent, Factors Greed, and I see Don, that's Don Chorizo, Don Clearzo, J Green, Philip Bala, and all of you joining us tonight. Thanks for coming on. My Eliza Smith, Obadiah Smith, Darius Boto, and the many of you joining us tonight. Just let us know where you're joining in from. Eric Miguel, thank you for joining us tonight. From Atlanta, Georgia, that's where you're following us from tonight. Frederick Cooper. Frederick says, we hear old Nelson. Yes, I will say we hear old. So let's have a great show tonight. Welcome. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Tatos, PL David Sr. joining us from the Kesselly Boulevard. From Bowman County, you're joining us as well, Fizzle. Eddie Edwins is joining us from Margibby County. Sally is joining us from Charlotte, North Carolina. And the many of you coming on tonight, we appreciate you. And we ask you to kindly share the show. As always, we have a great show coming your way tonight. A lot to talk about. Liberia is our country that we all love and we want to see do better. We want to see our country do better. And that's why we're here. That's why we always come on here to talk the issues, to discuss the real issues that are of concern to the Liberian people. And I want to welcome all of you to this edition of the program. Here tonight. So there's a lot happening across the country. Most of you are aware that we had you know, try to do this. Okay, I think we are good to go now. Again, I want to welcome all of you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for joining the show. It's a great thing that we're here to discuss Liberia. So yes, I think we're back now. Sorry for the break in, especially for our folks in Radio Lane and online. Let me see how I can get this. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming back on. Of course, we're here tonight. Yes, we're back on the late night show. Sincere apologies for the break in. That was due to some technical issues beyond our control, and we are back. And I want to say thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. And yeah, let's hope we can have a great show tonight. Let me bring the team on as we try to provide you the updates. I see our brother Mze AB Kamara has joined in. AB, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to have you on.
Thank you, my friend and brother. Nothing. It is always nice for us to be here and discuss the issue that affecting our brother and sister in our motherland.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yes. AB, you want to adjust your camera a little bit upwards? You know. Yeah. That whole space over your head there, you won't bring it. No. Don't carry your image downward. Carry it upwards a little bit. Okay. I think it's much better now. Yeah. But it's good to be here. And yes, you're right. Someone is asking me to check my light. I'm going to work on that very shortly. But it's good to be here tonight, AB. There's a lot happening across the country. And it's a great thing to bring those issues, provide our people the updates, and, get the analysis coming through on those different issues. And it's a great thing that we're here again tonight. Well, there's been a lot going on within the past 24 hours in the country. And AB, you are aware that the president, the Supreme Court's decision, the Supreme Court interpretation of our ruling has taken the center stage of most of the happenings across the country. And since that particular happening, we had the president who came up and made his position clear on where he and his government stands with respect to the Supreme Court's ruling, the Supreme Court's decision, and following the president's response to the entire situation. There has been lots of different organizations, institutions, and some permanent figures coming out to address the issue, to speak to the matter. And there are some who stand with the president in his position as expressed last evening on the unfoldings in the country. There are some who stand with the president, who think that, yes, the president was just right to take the side he took, to decide to work with whoever has the quorum. And there are others who, on the other end, disagree with the president's stand, the president's position, and all of that. So there has been different reactions today, just today alone. 5 political parties in the country, AB, came together and expressed themselves. The CMC, newly established CMC, Alfred, welcome to the show. The newly established CMC was amongst those political parties today, represented at the meeting, and expressed herself very well. The chairman of the CDC, Jang Hako, was there today as well. The expressed himself, gave his party's position on the president's latest response to what's unfolding, what's happening with the legislature. And we had the ANC, Alternative National Congress of Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. Of course, ANC was the host today of the activity, and you had and the chairperson, the chairman of the ANC, Councillor Gould, was there, and then you had the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Joe Howard Taylor. She expressed herself as well. And all of those people have a single goal. They hold a single position on everything that's transpired in the country over the past couple of days. And their position is that the government of the Republic of Liberia is undermining the rule of law. Their position is that the president of the Republic of Liberia is undermining the rule of law. And so they came together today. They had a meeting that was open to the press. They made statements. They made different remarks. And they said they will be having further meetings and they will be coming out. The former vice president used a term today. She said, the president, the current president of the country, can decide to make the country calm. The former chairman of the CDC, who is now the chairperson of the Solidarity of the Civil Rights Movement stand, for the first time was seen in a political gathering today. And his justification was that the reason why he hasn't been seen in any political gathering is because nobody has ever reached out to him or his organization, no political party. But the CDC and all those political parties reached out to him, and that's why he was there today. And he said, the president will have to lead or leave. It's either the president lead the country or the president leave the country. And in the midst of everything that was going on today, Liberians have been concerned as well as to whether those 5 political parties that came together have the morals, have the standing, given their track record, their history, to speak to those national issues they spoke to today. But again, this is where we are. It's going to be a spirited conversation tonight. And not just the 5 political parties, but LANU of Dr. Clarence. No. I'm saying LANU.
LANU, sorry.
LPP. Yeah.
LANU is the former...
yeah. Tiawan Gongo is LPP. You know, that party, that's the Liberian People Party. You know the party where Toure diverted from? You know, when the political leader needed him the most, Toure left the middle of the water and flipped over to the United Party. You know that party, Alfred? So LPP is the Liberian People's Party. That's Toure's party. You know, don't quote me. So it's not LPP. LPP wasn't present today.
Yeah, but I sort of read out from Tiawan Gongo.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the LPP. But I saw, yes, like you said, the radar from Councilor Tiawan Gongo. But LANU happens to be the Liberian National Union. The political leader is Dr. Clarence Monumba. You know, he was, if not the youngest, then one of the youngest in the just ended 2023 presidential election in the country. So Dr. Clarence Monumba came up with a statement today as well. LANU's position on this is that the government of Liberia should respect the court's ruling. That was his position. And he thinks that the court's ruling or the court's decision should be enforced or should be followed by all of the parties, including Honorable Kuhn and the majority bloc. So, in the midst of everything we're talking about, the Bar Association came up with a statement today as well. And different organizations are coming up with statements with respect to this particular issue. And we're going to dive into those different issues tonight. We're going to have this conversation going on. But I want to say welcome to everyone. Hope we can have the luxury of time to go through everything that we have on the plate for tonight. But let's do our opening. then we can get the show started. Maybe we can start with you, AB, and then we'll go to Alfred. Let's hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much for me to be able to say, but just for me to be able to congratulate Honorable Samuel Koga, who just won the just in the by-elections.
I thought you congratulated him yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Today is today.
So, so Evie, you congratulate your man 7 days a week.
I mean, yesterday I did not congratulate him, but if you say so, but that was yesterday. Right? Yesterday was another day. So today is another day. But
okay.
in me congratulating, I am just here for me to be able to tell the Nimbalans that it is time for us to be able to work together, no matter who that is, whether the former representatives. This is time for all of us to be able to work together in developing our country.
Thank you. Oh, okay, yeah, you want to learn. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it, man.
Thank you very much. Alfred, you want to do your opening and then we get started?
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. I want to say good evening to our people listening to us via social media, and good morning to our people listening by radio. Wherever you are in the world, I want to say thank you for following. Nelson, tonight, what's on my mind has got to do with the uh, the renegade group. As you may recall, we had the renegade leader who was Samuel Koga, who kept the guys at RLJ Hotel for almost 2 months. Now that he's now moved to the Senate, where he's now a freshman senator. There are a lot of things that he will need to orientate himself to, as he take his seat at the Senate. The concern that was bobbing my head today is who's the next ringleader among the renegade lawmakers? Who's the next ringleader, and what capacity does that person have to continue this impasse that we are having at the national legislature? So those are the things that was on my mind today, and I'm really thinking whether or not Koga now will be looking forward to working in the Senate, or he'll be looking backward to continue his influence.
But Alfred, that's a very great concern. But obviously that leaving from the House of Representatives, yes, I'll work on my lighting. I think there's something I don't know, it's technical. Yeah. I take note of your concerns, Freeman, and all of those raising that concern. But it is an elevation. Leaving from the Senate, leaving from the House of Representatives to the Senate. Now, there was one senator, what's his name? Senator Creighton Duncan. I remember there was this day when there was this heated debate on the floor, and Senator Creighton Duncan was a representative before and later became senator of Sino County. So during that heated debate, he quickly said, look, I left from the House of Representatives, a place where you got noisy people, and I came here, to the place of elders. When we are expected to be elders here. And then some of his colleagues jokingly said to him, oh, so you're trying to say the people down there, they are noise makers, today? And then quickly he called himself, he said, no, I didn't mean to say, this and that. But obviously it would have been all the headlines around the place. They may say the other people down there like K2 students and noise makers. But it's an elevation. So in any case, you will not expect that he will easily be looking back, Because and that's a great concern there, Alfred, because the Senate is organized in such a way where though they are all at the legislature, but it's a whole different atmosphere up there. It's a whole different environment. They have a different approach to things. They have a whole different way how they address certain things. So being there prohibits you from doing certain things on the other side. So yes, though he was the leader of the majority bloc, but winning the senatorial seat obviously means that he can no longer be the leader of the majority bloc. You cannot be a senator, then be a leader of a representative group. So then that's a great concern. Who's best, who's that person that has been groomed enough, that has the bravery, that person that have the energy, the political influence to galvanize the colleagues and get them in a single position, to take a single position on a particular thing and get to the end. Now, he was one of the frontliners in most of the removals that happened at the House of Representatives.
Right. So and Nelson, just to add up too, he's a third term sitting. He was a third term sitting representative. So he was really a permanent member of the House of Representatives because he has been there for long enough to be able to understand the modus operandi, of how the House worked. Now that he has gone to the Senate and this 55th legislature, the representative majority of those people that went to Koga, some of them, they are freshman representatives. They have not even been there for long, that the likes of Anthony Williams, for example, that he just won a representative seat from Maryland County. And now seeing that he's gone to the Senate, who's going to continue this impasse? With,
yeah. And another thing to look at here, maybe you can chime in on this one. It's a great way to start the conversation. Another thing to look at is that when the saga started, Samuel Koga was, from the beginning of the whole thing, he wasn't the head. He wasn't the head of the group. In fact, those lawmakers gathered, they had an objective, and they decided that based on this or that, this position we've taken, we're going to exclude ourselves from this, or we're going to exclude ourselves from that. And then the next thing was, who then is best suited to be our leader? Who is that person that has the influence enough, to control this movement such that we don't decrease in number, but we continue to increase. We're going to continue to get more people on our side. Then that's how they look among themselves. They couldn't select Honorable Thomas Fala because, he's obviously one of the long-serving. He's a doyen at the House, at the legislature. But they couldn't select him because at the time, he was not fully in the public with the majority bloc. And even with that, he could not be their leader because he was already on leadership.
Yeah.
He was already on leadership. He's already a deputy speaker. So he could obviously not be their leader. And so there were a few things they were looking for. They want that person who, number one, has the experience at the legislature, that person who knows how legislative politics works, who has an understanding of how the whole fight for removal of speakership and all of those things will pan out, and all of those different things. They wanted someone who has had the experience, and no other person. But Honorable Samuel Koga was just in the right.
Another political maneuvering that I also want us to talk about is the fact that Thomas Fala, you just mentioned, is the current sitting deputy speaker. Is Thomas Fala going to distance himself from this entire saga right now as we see it? Is it that we're going to have a serious political struggle within, or is it that we're going to see a breakup with this renegade group? Because obviously you have to look at sustainability. Who's there to sustain these guys, to keep them, away from the real the real activities of the legislature, especially so that they have gathered themselves and said they don't want J. Fonati Kofa given the fact that the Supreme Court has ruled and have made it very clear that their actions were considered unconstitutional, and Mr. Kofa remained the legitimate speaker. And I was just kind of thinking about it, politically. How is it that Mr. Kofa going to maneuver his way through there to be able to break that particular chain, to be able to get the number that he will require him to, make that body functional?
So I mean, it's a whole conversation right there. But Abi, what do you think? Just before we move on to the actual conversations for tonight, with Koga going to the Senate now, there's a void right there.
There's a void. Yeah, there's a gap.
Who do you think is best suited to fill that gap? He cannot be a senator and still be in the representative fight. He could still stay, give some direction and all of that. But who do you think is best suited at this point?
But let us remember that up to President Samuel Koga is still considered a member of the House of Representatives. Up to President.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Okay. So there were three.
Mm-hmm.
So Sekou Kane, he is another influential young man. He has served that House of Representatives before. And later on, he was defeated. He just came back this gone election and he won. Sekou Kane could be one of the persons. If we're looking at young person intellectual who can be able to dive into issues, don't overlook Anthony S. Williams.
No, but Anthony Williams.
Anthony Williams is a freshman when it comes to legislative qualities.
Let's allow AB to land on this one. AB, go ahead.
My brother, you just asked who can be able to step in. Mm-hmm. And I just name you two persons. If you're looking at people, young people, who can be able to take the bull by the horn, I am telling you that Anthony F. Williams that brother can be able to do sufficient research. That brother is intellectually rare. That brother, he is intellectually informed. Let us be able to come to...
Abi, the next question is, what is that? What are those qualities that should make up, or that person should have? That talking about that person who replaces Samuel Koga. What are those qualities that person should have? What exactly is expected of that individual? Because if you should be able to stay in the shoes of this man, if you should be able to fill that gap, the person come in, even if that person is not up to 100%, like the way he is, there should be someone. Yeah, at least 80%.
Yeah.
Do we have a lawmaker amongst the people in the majority bloc who has that influence, that experience, and everything that's required?
I am telling you that Sekou Kane can be able to step in. For the matter of fact, he was the deputy to Samuel Koga in this fight. Sekou Kane was the deputy to Samuel Koga. Maybe you guys did not notice that.
Okay, so one of our viewers here is saying that Koga had money and connection.
I was just about to say that Koga had the money and he had a connection. He had the money and the connection.
And the reason why this is important is because this thing is going to determine what happens with the majority bloc moving forward.
Yeah.
Honorable Richard Kuhn is up there. He's focusing on a lot. Honorable Thomas Farr is up there. They both focus. They have a whole lot to deal with.
I mean, really, Nelson,
And then
someone father had nothing to do. He had nothing to pray for. He got a position already.
no. I'm talking about the sustenance. The engagement with the camp and all of that.
You should not make
They
the
have a
thing
lot
look
to
like.
do with.
You should not make the thing look like Samuel Coker one was responsible in this fight. I can tell you that there were funds coming from elsewhere. There were funds coming from
there were funds. Okay, where the funds are coming from?
Where the funds are coming from? Tell us.
Where the funds are coming from?
No.
You gotta say it. You can't leave us hanging. You gotta tell us where the funds are coming from.
Let us be clear.
And for what?
Let us be clear. Let us be clear that Sekukane also have money. Sekukane also have money, but maybe people have not. Maybe he is not a person that can be able to show off. He is that kind who let to, on a low key. But
and someone is saying, someone just sent a message. I will not mention the name of this person, but the person is saying, for the family is a young man. He does research. He's brave, and he can be a leader.
You want me to respond?
Okay, let me hear you, Alfred.
I mean, for the family might have the intellectual way with her, but he does not have that influence, so to speak, in terms of moving and lobbying at the level of the legislature. He does not have that influence, because lobbying at the level of the legislature come with your term, how long you have spent there.
I want to understand something, Alfred. When you say influence, are you talking about money or your ability to convince your colleagues?
Exactly. Your ability to convince your colleagues.
I can be able to tell you that for the formula guy that you guys are looking at, that guy having very, very good, he is an influential man. For the formula is very, very much influential. Maybe.
Let's have AB to learn.
He was for the formula before when we were in UL. I remember for the formula spearheading that bomb contest student leadership. And the way for the formula managed to be that president at that time, none of us could believe it. That brother have a way of fighting.
No, but AB, that bomb contest student leadership.
No. Don't
say the bomb contest student leadership. We're talking about the legislature.
You must be having, something must be part of you. Something must be part of you. And I am saying that for the formula, he is also right. Although he may be a rookie, but he is also right. I am saying Anthony F. Williams is also right. The man who led the thousands of students at the university, I can be able to tell you that brother Anthony F. Williams is also right to be able to lead. So let us be able to see Samuel Coker will not just turn on his back to the guys there like that. They are having meetings, they are having discussions among themselves. And whosoever that emerge as that leader, I can be able to tell you, whether freshman or sophomore, I can be able to tell you that person will be able to take that mantle of authority.
Thank you. We really have the transition on this one. You want to come in quickly, and then we take Francis on this one.
Yeah, finally from my end, I think I just hope that this time around, Mr. Kofa, who is a legitimate speaker, will be able to, create an environment where, his colleagues can trust him, to just get this thing over with. He needs to do that. He needs to go to see them and have a conversation with them, and not just relying on his group of 27 or 38, 27 or 29 members that he has. He need to move, he needs to move faster to be able to do that. Because what I'm seeing is that in all the different Facebook posts that I have read from government officials coming from the executive mansion, it clearly tells you that the president is not willing to work with Kofa. And I think it's about time that Kofa do the needful. If he goes across the aisle and he can get the number that is required to remove him, it's just fair enough to tell the Liberian Post, look, this is what we've been fighting for. The issue of the rule of law, the law is very clear, and it's time to give a chance, give peace a chance, and just leave it with them. Because to win in an environment that is corrupt is very difficult.
Wow.
And our system is endemically corrupt, very corrupt to the core. And that's why we are seeing the fight we are having today at the legislature.
Yeah, we're going to come to the heated conversation briefly, but this is very important because the sustenance of legislative fight is one thing that requires a whole lot. And up to now, a lot of people still wonder how Samuel Koga was able to lead his colleague and sustain that fight for about 6 months. To a point where, Alida, welcome to the show. Francis, welcome to the show. To a point where...
Thank you, Nelson.
To a point where, instead of losing numbers, instead of seeing a decline in the numbers, the number increased. The number increased up until 45, 46, thereabout. So with his exit from the stage, it creates a void. And a lot of people are saying now that, look, this might just be the end of the junior bread ball. Francis, what do you think?
Nelson, I want to say hi to everybody, including folks that listening to her. But I would love that you restate. I will now following. Honestly, you restate the topic,
Francis,
please.
Yeah, Francis. The latest election result from Nimba County is cleared that Samuel Koga has won the senatorial seat. What that means is that Samuel Koga will now be going to the Senate. But this Samuel Koga was the chairman of the majority bloc. He was the arrowhead. He was that guy who galvanized his colleague. He used his influence. He sustained the fight for all the months that the guys and they had one agenda. They sustained it, and they went to where, up to now, to where we are. With his exit from this particular team, going to the Senate, is obvious. Like it's now obvious that he's not going to be involved with representative politics again. What do you think here? What do you foresee here? Who do you see among those people that's influential enough that can fill the gap that's going to be created now?
I think Samuel Koga have done well based on their own agenda, even though the law is not in their favor any longer. But the way I see it, his ascendancy to the Senate doesn't negate any fight that he cannot have any conversation with the folks from the lower aspect of the legislature, even though he can no longer have any full participation like when he was at the front line. However, I would think that there's something in human resource management called transfer of knowledge.
Okay, so sorry, Francis. Let me interrupt you there a bit. You're gonna take off from transfer of knowledge, but it's gonna be a problem seeing a senator going overnight in the camp of the people from majority bloc. It's gonna be a problem because you know that the Senate struggled with a decision as to whether they should work with the majority bloc until the justice minister interpreted the court decision, all of that, before they finally made the decision. So seeing one of the senators, one of those persons who's supposed to be from the House of Elders, coming in the gathering of the majority bloc is going to be a problem. So when you say he can still, engage with them, I don't know what you really mean by that.
No, the point here, Nelson, especially, I don't know other people's capability, but this 21st century, with the issue of technology now, people can still influence decision even when they are
But
not there.
if a
And
WhatsApp
now,
message
and
leaks,
now,
then it's a problem.
uh,
If a
and
message
now,
or email leaks,
and now,
mhm,
I understand they have been having series of meetings.
mhm.
They have been having series of meetings. I'm very positive. The fact that we're even talking about it, yeah, I'm very positive that so-called majority black that are banned declared by the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia illegal. Everything they did illegal, and what they're doing today is also illegal. I am thinking that they are having varieties of conversation, including their leader, who are being democratically transferred over to the upper house. So, I mean, there are a lot of folks over there. I wouldn't want to point out anybody. I know for the family have been very, very arrogant. I cannot say vocal. Because you cannot look at, even in politics, there should be some sort of decency, especially when people are older than you, they can burn you. How can
Oh,
you look
oh,
at a
come
Supreme
on,
Court
come
justice? How
on.
can
Mhm.
you look at a Supreme Court justice and say the man that liquor is drunk?
Okay. Let me
Okay,
hold you there.
so I don't
I
want to
like
come off fully
I
from there,
like the
but I
part. I
think
like the
no,
part. I like the
yeah,
part where he
Nelson,
brought the tradition in.
Yeah,
You are from
Nelson,
local
just
county.
few seconds. Let me end my
No,
thought,
no,
please.
few seconds. Let me interrupt you for a few seconds. You are from local county. You say your Uncle Joe back up, but when you ready for him here, you know what you can
No,
do here.
I'm
But you
not saying
speaking your
insulting.
tradition.
I'm just
How is
describing
that
the
different from the
behavior.
Holy Family? No. How are
No,
you
I
different from
cannot
the
say
Holy
that to anybody like that. No, Holy Family is totally 360 degrees away from the realities of matter. When you know something is real, for example, something is real. You know, we all can do politics. Politics will all be politics. The
Family?
truth of the matter will be the truth. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, right? Everybody been together. It's just that we that on the show, for example, Samuel Koga and other members of the so-called majority bloc, they already know each other strength when it comes to influence. The fact that Samuel Koga is leaving, the transitional process could definitely come up with somebody. And I will predict that might likely come up with fully formula because of what he's been doing. Even though he's a new representative, but he been too much all over the place. But you know what? At this point, I wish President Parker could just reverse his decision for the interest of the country because we cannot continue on this path.
Okay.
So whatever they gotta do, it is up to them. But everything they did yesterday and what they're doing today, Tengo Koga is gone, he's on his way out. It is considered illegal according to the Supreme Court. So
You
they
know,
just need to dissolve it.
thanks a lot. And Anita, we want to hear your take on this issue just before we transition. What do you think? Do you think a gap has been created? A void is here now? Samuel Koga is going. Um, I mean, who do you think can fit in that gap? And you know, given everything that's happening now, is this going to be the end of it with the majority block, with the absence of Koga?
Jesse, thank you for having me on here, and good evening to my fellow panel and our listening audience. It is a pleasure to be on here once again. But Nancy, I don't think it hard to replace Samuel Koga.
You don't think so?
For the fact that we have a so-called projected majority party, it means that they have people who are capable and willing to bend the rule of law to certify that inner goal. So the so-called projected majority bloc won't find it difficult to find another arrogant and violent person. So I think that is not even a thing that I have to worry. It just take a 30 second, you're gonna have another person to replace Coca. But I'm not discussing the so-called projected majority block. My main focus is how my country progress, under the leader or so-called 8 years of experience leadership. That is what I'm worried about more, because the rule of law of our country is very essential, is very important to our country, and to be able to move forward as a nation that wants experience civil crisis. The rule of law should be a full focus
Thank
point
you.
on that matter.
You know, and thanks a lot, Alida. And I think at this point we're going to transition. Today, 5 political parties engaged. They have a meeting. Okay. Like my first time seeing political party having their meeting, OSA. They call all the journalists there in the country. They say, you can't put your camera on. We come and have our meeting. And they how do you call it? The former vice president, she was there, not representing the CDC, but representing the NPP. And I want us to follow this. The current chairman of the Adita Emmy, I don't know where I decided to do to auto now, but the current chairman of the CDC, Jangako, he was there. The former chairman of the CDC, Moba Mulu, who now happens to be a civil society man, was also there. And we're gonna play their clips one after another and make the analysis. But this is exactly what the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia said today.
Where we are now, I never expected that we'll get to this point. That the number one citizen in the Republic who vowed to respect all laws has decided to play politics with a constitutional mandate. The truth is, this constitutional mandate is not a debatable mandate. President Boyka, you must follow the mandate from the Supreme Court. The difference there is a very clear difference here. Either as a nation we agree to follow a path of chaos, because once you do not go by the rule of law, then you are calling for chaos. We either do chaos or we do calm, where our country is able to move forward, where the hopes and aspirations of our people will be met.
You know, I want to hold the interview, I want to hold the conversation there a bit. Now, this is the former vice president of the Republic of Liberia. This is the former first lady of the Republic of Liberia. This is the current head or political leader of the NPP. That who strapping that crop passo, friends. Sorry, guys. So this is the former first lady of the Republic of Liberia. Now, political leader of the NPP that happens to be the political party of ex-Liberian president Charles Taylor. And the former vice president is saying, we as a country, 5 million people, Liberia, we either choose chaos or we choose crime. One of the two. And she's saying that the country is at a point right now where we have to decide. And the person who needs to make that decision, who needs to take the lead, is the president. But chaos or crime, that's where the country sits right now, according to the former vice president. But what was this statement? Was it appropriate? Was it prudent? The choice of words. Was it just a political statement, the regular political, statements that politicians will make? Or is this a statement that Liberians, not just the president, but even the ordinary Liberians, should be very concerned about? when the former vice president says, this country, we are at the point where we need to decide whether we want chaos or we want to remain kind. I want us to start the conversation from here. And Alita and okay, so let's start with Alita and then we're gonna go around the table on this one.
Yeah, Nelson, I listened to the former first lady of our country and vice president Madame Drew Siller. She's one person that I had a respect. Very calm and very polite woman. But listen, Nelson, if we sit here and blindfold the Liberian people that Mr. Barker's choice of according to him continue to work with the quorum was a favorable statement to the Liberian people. At the end of the day, you are living in a Barker fantasy. But when you talk to the reality of our country and what our country stands today, you don't necessarily come and say that it's no longer about which political party we affiliate or we from. It is about what our country represents on the international stage. You know, Liberia is one of the oldest country in not just West Africa, but in Africa at large. And to have our country to face this crisis issue that we have watched many young countries like Ghana that is rooting on democrats on a democratic government. Ghana is like a grandchild to Liberia. You know, Ghana was giving birth to a couple of years ago. And I will run to them. And now the Supreme Court, the highest decision body, is telling us what the mistake word and how can we correct it, and to have the general in chief, the sergeant in chief Joseph Barker is telling us that he acknowledged, he is aware, but however he's gonna move forward with his so-called quorum. And the former vice president is right. The country right now is something that worries us. Some of us that love our country, the ordinary people are the ones that give Mr. Barker the mandate, and they have the power to resist his wrong proceeding. And that is where the former vice president of our country is speaking from. That if you spoke about the rule of law, uphold the rule of law that you spoke about. You came to power with the arrest mission. The rule of law was part of your agenda for the rescue mission. It is surprising that Barker and his associate, let me be a little bit conscious of my words, something that so people don't get in that feeling, and his associates cannot be able to govern the country for on the placard they came to power with. The thing I always say, propaganda can bring you to leadership, but propaganda cannot maintain you. When Baka and his leaders sat on the fence, they saw some of, they thought they could rescue, but I think they only came to rescue Kotama Baka and Mr. Baka. You can clearly see that the former vice president then, who is the current president of Liberia, has some financial issue, and he needed to be rescued, because if he cannot uphold the rule of law of our country, where do we lead as a country? And this is very worrisome for us. We watch international community, you know, to see what the forthcoming couple of days. But I think it will be terrible for Liberia, and that's where the former vice president speak, and I support her statement.
Thank you. Nelson, you there?
Take all the show.
All right. Bro, first let's go.
Mr. Donald, go ahead. You are muted. All right. So it is interesting. I hear from the other camp, oh, we need to have the interest of the country. We need to do the people in a moral compass, people in a moral grounds. They were there yesterday, Jedi Fide. All that it doesn't make no sense to me.
The reason it doesn't make sense to me, my people, it's just easy. People did run for 135 years in Liberia, according to history. When 1980 came, what did we do? We put on the light post. Death. That's what they pay for. And at the time, that group of Liberians that did that, headed by Samuel Kanyando the late, they even denied them legal representation in their junta court. They said they did not deserve it. Why did they not deserve that? They said they committed a crime. And what were the crimes? Corruption at all levels of our government. Violating the law, stealing from the public funds, political manipulation, and you just name it. Overall, violation of rule of law. That's what happened. Now, 10 years later, I'm not going to 1983, 1985, November, all that stuff. 10 years later,
we don't have all that time.
The very people that persecuted people, capital punishment in the real world, the people that did that, what they did in our country, it was even worse. In our country, we can say, Congo Mercy, what's up? They suspended the constitution for 5 years straight. Even when they decided to be constitutionally governed, they still rigged the election in 1985, according to our history. Fast forward, we went to war. Civil crisis for 14 years straight. Brutal, senseless, and you name the rest. Because of bad stuff. So we all agree, ugly things happen in our country. President have come and gone, they violated the law. We agree on that. But can two wrongs make a right? Two wrongs cannot make a right. That is the fundamental reasons why some of us, a majority of Liberians, even though it was a slim majority, I said to somebody, like, hey, let me tell you something. It's a championship.
You saying that the former vice president was wrong by making that statement?
One goal is Nancy back.
Yeah, in the back.
He in the back, but please give me a chance. Let me learn. I come into vice president right now. Now,
so now they want to ask you a question from the statement, your previous statement. It doesn't mean they're cutting you off. You got to engage with this, and that's what it is.
No, I mean, he went in the bar. I just thought my voice was coming back to me.
No,
yeah, Nancy, if you have a question, you can go ahead.
My question is, are you saying that the statement for the former vice president was wrong? Or was it just appropriate?
No, the statement is not wrong at all. In fact, that statement is an understatement for the action purported against us, the people, by Joseph Boakai. Like she said, the number one citizen of our country. And who gave in that citizenship to be number one? We, the majority of the Liberian people, gave in that right for 6 years to be citizen number one. We do. By the time not the vice president, excuse me, actually former vice president, current president of the Republic of Liberia, my senior uncle. On the serious note, this is the fundamental reasons why majority of Liberians decided to give it to Uncle Joe, so that the wrong can be corrected. He started taking some decisions, like for example, whether the war chronicle will go forward or not, because Prince Joseph passed away, at least he took some kind of decision to come up with some executive order or executive action and created an office and get a small money and employ his friends. That was some kind of action too. To end the issue of impunity. That's what Joe Boakai told us. The issue of impunity is going to have no space in Liberia. But the issue of impunity already living with him from his action every day. So I would think that now that the opposition, even though we all know what's going on, not that strong, but I don't think the former vice president, the former first lady, the former senator of Bon County, Republic of Liberia statement is anything like threatening the government. You know why? Let's put the government on notice. I think that's what the opposition did. And my advice to the opposition, they just wait and one with good numbers and other political parties that didn't join the alliance, the so-called alliance now, the next action should be a mass protest against the president so that he can withdraw his reckless statement, lackadaisical statement, for the interest of the country. As ugly as Donald Trump might be, like with the immigrant here in America, the stock market coming down, he withdrew his tariffs, he paused it for 90 days for the interest of the majority of the people. Even though he campaigned on it, though, people talk to him, say, no, Mr. President, that's true, you campaign on it, but you got to release it. Slow it down a little bit, let's have some conversation, and let's see what we can do. And you know why? 3 branches of government. The executive is charged with constitutional responsibility to enforce the law. Joe Bucker just need to do that. Forget about all the compa, no moral grounds. Ugly things happened yesterday that what got us to be where we are. We need to correct it. We can't continue to be wrong people. No.
Thank you.
No, he alone qualified. We gave him an opportunity that he didn't have when he was vice president to do better. Okay. And he's not doing better. That's my point. Ayuba Mountain.
Mr.
Go ahead.
AB,
yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, AB. Thank you, AB. You know, Tony, I'm going to start
y'all want to run. Y'all talking about rule of law, but y'all running your own law and here on this show. All right, y'all go ahead. Bunch of hypocrites.
Okay, co-host, go ahead. Co-host, go ahead.
No, go ahead. We seen through y'all already. We told
you. No, but Sister Amy, you already co-host, and that's not showing.
Go ahead.
You know, when I listen to people who think that they are educated, and I listen to them, the likes of my brother Abula Mami and the rest of the people, you know, talking about, so saying the Supreme Court said the action of the so-called majority black was illegal. They asked the question, so the budget our passed, we can go back and undo the budget and all kinds of stuff. Let me say this. Those of you who are Christians, let me say this. When Jesus died on the cross and said, your sin has been forgiven, you have to go back and undo all the sin that you committed. Okay, let me put it this way. Those of us who are Christian that follow the Christian principle that say when you baptize, when you baptize, you're baptizing with the death of Jesus and you are raising with the life of Jesus. Do you go back to all the people that you hurt to tell them sorry? Do you go back to tell them sorry? Or you just, from the day you baptize and you receive Jesus as your personal savior, your life begins from there? Do you go back to tell people, say you are sorry for all the things that you did against people? No, you can't do that. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, the government process cannot be undone. The current issue that we are having at hand right now is that the process leading to remove a certain speaker was wrong, and we need to correct it. So the buck stops with the president. The president now has the executive power to ensure that that process is followed. How does he do that? By making sure that the current speaker is recognized, that his immunity that was taken away from him is given back to him, and that he can encourage that speaker to go across the aisle to get all his guys back. He also has executive power to delay some of their salary. He can delay their salary, not to take it away from them. He can delay their immunity.
Alfred, I want us to come back to the vice president.
I'm coming back there. That's where I'm coming now. Now, because he refused to do that, and continue to go with the quote-unquote quorum, the vice president is saying, reminding the president that, look, you are the first citizen of the country. Everybody look up to you for direction. That's why we give you that executive power. When something is going wrong, you have that executive power to correct it. It's not like you infringing on anybody's right, but you have the executive power to correct it. But if you fail to do that,
for the former vice president to say, it's either we get chaos or we get crime. Was chaos the right choice of word?
Yes, you were right.
In this instance, in the first place,
she was very right, Nelson. It's either we choose the path of chaos or we choose the path of calm. And who has that mantle of authority to ensure that we either go either way? It's the president. It is the president. So if the president refuses to take the path of calm, we will go into chaos. And it takes the president just one decision. It takes the president just one decision to do that.
Is it just with the president? Is it just with the president to sustain the peace? Or is it the responsibility of every Liberian citizen to ensure that the peace is sustained? Is it just President Boakai? Or does it fall within the purview of even those within the opposition to ensure that the peace of the country is sustained?
Absolutely.
The peace of the country is a collective effort. I will not say there and tell you that only the president has that moral duty. No, because the president is a human being. He's not a robot. He can make mistake too. So I will not sit there and tell you that. But in this instant case, where the president has a fiduciary responsibility to perform, he has to perform his role. We are saying that the president should perform his role. That's what we are saying. So if he cannot perform his role, that will lead to chaos. And that's what we don't want. We don't want the country to go back into chaos. Because if for example, if you go back in history, the rest riot that took place, it was just people that came in the street. Before you go low, it escalated to something else. And today we are having it in history as one of the worst days in our country history. So it's also possible that if people get tired with this impasse and nothing's happening, they get in the street, it could lead to something else. There has never been in history where you have a protest taking place, it becomes peaceful at the end of it. Even with Martin Luther King, the non-violent man, the protest turned chaotic and people die in the process.
Okay.
You understand? So there is no peaceful protest anywhere in the world.
Yes, there is.
Okay?
Okay.
So what we are saying, Nelson, is that the vice president's statement was said in a most conscious and, to the president, and look, Mr. President, all these things that are happening, you have a stake to play. And if you decide not to play your role and you want to make it with politics, she was very specific that the president should not play politics with the mandate of the Supreme Court. She went further to say it is not debatable.
Thank you.
It is not debatable, so you don't have to play politics with it. It is a mandate that needs to be executed. It is a mandate that needs to be enforced. Enforce it. That's all we want.
Thank you. Go ahead, B.
Nelson, your questions is really in place. Whether the vice president's statement was right or it was wrong. I strongly believe that the vice president's statement, no one else but I, Abraham, I will classify that statement to be for the bellies of the devil. I will classify that statement to be a statement that a gender we will always make, a statement that
come on, what do you mean Janjanwi? What is Janjanwi in the first place? We will not allow you using any word on our former vice president. When you talk about Janjanwi, we don't understand it. At least for me, I don't understand what is Janjanwi. So you have to make us understand, AB.
Nelson, the Janjaweed is a rebel group that was formed in South Sudan when they were fighting against the government of the North.
Why you give that man different Janjaweed?
Is the history teacher or the second AB we have on the show? You can our former vice president is Janjaweed.
Nelson, allow me to make my statement, please. Just allow me to finish making my statement, then you can be able to ask other questions.
You want to say things on his platform,
but anyway.
So if you now your own statement, you call
I strongly believe that the former vice president's statement, it is not a good statement. And let me tell you, it was this same former vice president who said that Tatala was not treated free and fairly. It was the same former first lady who said that. What do you expect from her at this point? What? To me, that statement, I don't classify to be it sounds like sweet wine, but lack of substances. The former vice president, if she wants chaos, let she tell us. If they are planning to be able to bring chaos into our country, let she come up plain blank and be able to announce it. She's entitled to her opinion. For us, like I said on the show, Liberia was like a place when we took over. We're trying to make Liberia a country now. So when we give all of them their freedom so they can say anything. We will not blame them. They can say anything. But for us, what paramount to us, what more important to this country is the growth and development that the president is carrying on. And that is what is more like important to me. It is important to my sisters and my brothers that in our country. So the issue of what the former vice president said, what the former party chairman, that thing there is not on our radar. That thing there that are topic, that are talking point, it is not on our radar. What was on our radar was the president honor the Supreme Court decision? I would say yes. In which way? The president will honor all of the decision that the Supreme Court made. I will be able to work with whosoever that have the quorum. What more big about that?
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you, my sister.
Thank you. Now, see you there. So, my time. So, come on, Tabata.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
I guess. I don't see anything wrong with what the former vice president said, right? She said she was speaking from a place that maybe she thought that the president's statement was chaotic. So that's what she said, you either chaos or peace. But I'm going to be objective with this. I don't think she's saying that we are going to create chaos for you or for the country. I don't think that's what she said. I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm from what I heard. I think she's saying that from the reason why she said that, she's saying that the president statement was chaotic and something like that, so that would cause chaos and something like that. So I don't see anything wrong with what she said. The only thing I see in that is that she's misleading the people on what the president said. Because what the president said has nothing to do with anything that would create chaos or say anything about not accepting, like all of them were saying. The president is ignoring what the Supreme Court said. No, the president said he acknowledged. And y'all, the book people, y'all can go and look up the word acknowledge to me and read the definition and tell me. Okay, from my little main understanding, I don't have a doctorate degree yet, but I think it's meant that he accepted it. Okay? He made it to the existence of whatever they said. That's what the president said. Whatever he said has nothing to. The president never came out and said what the Supreme Court said, that I don't think they're talking. I don't care about it. And people are sitting on this platform and on the former first lady misleading in our premier show, Spoon Talk, misleading people that the president telling the Liberian people are telling the country that he doesn't accept, he will violate the Constitution. He was saying that's a lie, Liberian people. Lie.
No, point of correction.
No, don't correct me. Tell you what I'm talking about. Let me talk my own. They are lying to you. The president said he acknowledged. If you got a child that go to school, go tell that child to read what acknowledge means. Don't let the doctor degree people come in and fool you. That had been fooling you for years, and your life haven't changed. The president said, I accept it. What the Supreme Court said, I acknowledge it. But in doing that, I will not hold the country hostage. That means my musu, my water, I will not send in here for them to suffer. I will not send in here in Apple hospital for just not going to hospital. I will not send in here and not face the people rule for them to be able to bring a market in something. I will not send in here because grown people they can't figure out what they're supposed to do. Whoever, like the Constitution says, whoever has quorum, and me try to be colloquial as much as I can. I hope I go English. I will do business with whoever, and then see in the same Constitution or what the committee telling you say the president not upholding the Constitution. It said whoever has quorum, whoever has the number to sit down to do business for the Liberian people, I will work with them because I will not sit down here and put my hand between my leg and sit down for the people to be suffering. That what they want for the president to do, my people, I hope my getting clear to you, my colloquia is clear to net. That what they want the president to do, someone they want for the president to do that. So 2029, they can come back and say, y'all see President Baka didn't do anything for you. And someone they want to come back and say, oh, CDC and United Party, not something like this. So let's move these people there. That the thing they want, say the papa say no, he not doing it. That they want to go around lying to you, say the papa say he not upholding the rule of law in the country. That lie. That's not what he said. The people that's supposed to be directing that statement to my people is to the people in the House of Representatives. The papa that you voted for those people there. The papa did not appoint them. So the same Constitution, what they coming telling the papa now, they that said they don't want to uphold the same Constitution. The Constitution said that 3 branches of government, all of them have their own functions. The president will not go be their boss to tell them to do their job. He doesn't have that power. His own power is to stay where he is in the executive mansion and do what he's supposed to do and work with those people. He can only work with them, talk to them. If they tell him no, he cannot go and sack them because he didn't hire them. You're the one, you're the Liberian people, you're the one who hired them. So if the former vice president telling us, if anybody doing anything chaotic, it should be them that they should be directing that something to the president is not doing anything, that they come be telling all of y'all, they want to turn your Liberian people, and look around you and see what's going on in the country. Then you will know the president, they want the president to stop all of that. Just to because of their own greed, all of them. Send the ban holding this so-called rule of law. What's not happening to your life, my people? That they want the public to stop whatever he's doing. To listen to them so they can be getting a pay now. Why you and your children are sitting now suffering? And the man said no, he will not do it. That the thing they're going around with all that propaganda and they're speaking that BB boldness to you. Don't listen to them. If the former vice president thinks somebody doing something, that the House of Representatives she's also directed to, not the president, because the president did not hire those people. The president, I don't care how long they come on this show or on Spoon or whatever show and tell you that's not true. If you get anybody that knows, they're going to go read it to you. The president did not hire those people. He cannot fire them. He cannot force them or make them to do anything. He can only admit. If the president wants, they're talking about executive order. They're talking about rule of law, but they want the president to do executive order. Where in the Constitution the president can do executive order to force people to sit down on each other? It doesn't say. But they're telling you that the president has the right to do that. Y'all need to stop misleading our people and stop. And the vice president, she didn't say anything wrong, but she just directing it to the wrong person and misleading the statement that the president put out. Thank you, Nelson.
Well, my people, say our sister say we do colloquia, we do colloquia today. Some of the things she say here are true. Some of it are not true. The one that not true here is that the vice president now say what the president say it was wrong. That's what the vice president say. The vice president say the big court in our country called the Supreme Court interpreted the law. You know, when the something law, you know, the people they call the Constitution are supposed to guide all of us. When you not follow it, the only people who can go that they can explain to us how it's supposed to work is the Supreme Court. A few months ago, some our people then what we elected representative and they say they not want their big men. They want to gather together. They not follow the process that's supposed to make them to move the men. They didn't do it like that. They went, they start making confusion. So one the men that is supposed to move say, okay, so how you want to do it? I carry your complaint to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court will explain to us how we're supposed to do our joy. So they went to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court explained it to them. Now, our president, who responsibility is to enforce that anything that comes from the Supreme Court, anything that comes from the legislature, the president is supposed to enforce it because of his own duty. He has to play politics. So today, our former vice president, after all that thing happened, the Supreme Court finished explaining what's going to happen. Our president said he will work with a group of people that will have all the number. He not even say what he will do with regards to what the Supreme Court say. So our former vice president said, no, don't do it with politics, because when you do it with politics, you will not do it the way the Supreme Court say it. So if you not do it, some people will get there, they will join the street and they will start being bad it. So you the president, you don't want to get the authority to make sure that people don't get angry and join the street. So do the right thing. That's what the vice president was saying, the former vice president was saying today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brother, Mr. Dono, you got something to say?
Of course I do.
Well, I first spoke for 3 minutes, so I guess 3 minutes will go over.
Can I go now?
Yeah, you can go.
All right, on the C point, right? Let me thank you for making us to go back to those days when we were living in Satan.
No, because I want people to understand. I don't want to.
Yeah, but it's a good thing though. Yeah, you try. You try.
Yeah,
you really try, my sister.
I try. They understand my colloquial. My colloquial is very colloquial. Don't something. Go
ahead.
Oh,
I'm not saying you try.
No, say I did.
So what you must say now?
I did it right.
Yeah, you should be able to say that my sister did well.
Thank you.
You say you should try.
Go ahead.
All right, sister, amen. You did perfect.
Thank you.
Super. All right, so my people, that you're not coming to you again. The boy here, he let the government talking business.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I let the government talking business? They politics. Because me, I was small boy, baby, when all the hala start. 1979. I was 1 year old. That's why I can talk the way I can talk. But the thing here, no plenty thing inside. The thing, that woman, Joa Watiro, and you know her, right? That chatted up, they made our in our country, the president. He's somewhere now. That woman there.
Yeah, West.
Yeah, that woman there. And then that same woman there, the better people go meet her big person called Senator. Few days ago. From there, she joined your weird party, her own chatted up party. They joined together. Yeah, the people then, you go get power to Joia and Joel, our president. We move them because they not do good. And all we know, they not do better. They not do no good for us. The small good they do, the bad thing they do is more than the small good. So that what all of us say, they baby here, that our uncle, some of y'all, that your grandpa, some of y'all, that your papa, and all that in it. And they baby here, he's still on the government well. They baby they call Joseph Barker. Some people then they call him JMB. They baby still on his government well. They baby, since they baby become man, he married to one woman. They still together. From there, they play, he start living. He's still living inside that one house. That's it, 42, 43 years.
Are you explaining Spiral story?
Yeah, I thought we're going over this.
No, we're going there. Hey, my people, you're leaving now. Let me tell my own turn now. Why you not want to leave me? Hey, I don't want to read it. It's true.
No, that's something. What the vice president said.
No, but the vice president will come in there. You're giving chance, my people. What happened now?
No, but you know you want to understand. Before you get there, they tell me.
I got to get there because there's something make it. In our country, we say when you hold the rope can hold the bush. You know what we say?
If you have the
so what is the Liberian people to make Joseph Barker president? Now they play going.
That's not the history we own Yeah, that's what
No,
we have to go.
but how
We
you
have to
gonna
go.
tell me how I want to say, my people?
We have to go. Sorry, but we have to go. Sorry. You will
So,
make that in your closing statement. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Francis, just take 30
we're on a
seconds
topic.
to
We're
No,
wrap
not
what you
up
gave me 30
because
seconds for? How many?
no,
Look,
because we
Fred,
have to transition.
excuse me,
The
Alfred.
vice
We have
president,
to
How long I
transition.
talk?
the
and you've
vice
been talking for
president
a while
conversation
now.
is just one aspect. We have the former CDC chairperson, we have the ANC comment, and a whole lot of other issues
Yeah.
to touch
We
on.
just
That's
touched
not
on
too
it
bad.
for 30
All right,
seconds.
then let me
Go
finish
ahead,
now.
sir.
Let me finish now. Y'all will get the history. I don't care how you feel. Y'all just
Francis,
We already
relax.
know
Y'all,
the
Francis,
history.
y'all
just,
I
just,
think
feeling.
just,
everybody
dash,
whatever
just
Joseph
dash
already
me
know
to
the
there,
history.
just dash me to there, and just talk about what the vice president say. Just
That's
dash me.
it. That's the topic we're on. And you already have to take all the time already. So
It is your right to oppose and undermine the High Court's ruling. It is also our right to ensure that the right thing is done. And the people have the right to insist because you are working for us. Mr. Boakai is an employee of the people. My taxes pay him. He is not above me. The most elevated, the highest authority of the land is not the presidency. The highest authority of the land is the people. Mr. Boakai is a servant of the people. We pay him. We put gas in his vehicle. It is our money that we use to build a $1 million car that he's riding today. So you will work consistent with the expectation of the people, or else the people can fire you. It is a right. So President Boakai has a choice to lead, or to leave.
You know, and this is the former chairman of the CDC right here. Now, former chairman Mulu resigned from the CDC, and his letter became a major conversation across the country. He outlined how he was treated in the CDC. Now, this is the chairman who was on tape outlining his frustration about the previous administration. This chairman resigned, and he decided to form a civil rights movement. This civil rights movement, according to him, has been in the business of advocating for Liberian citizens, advocating for the rights of people. But today he was spotted for the first time in the midst of 5 political parties with a singular agenda, including the CDC, which he served as chairman for.
wolf in sheep clothing.
Have this former chairman of the CDC really transitioned from politics to civil rights, or let's say advocacy? Now, in his response today, or in an attempt to justify his presence in the midst of all of those political parties, Chairman Molu went on to say that he was seeing for the first time in the midst of political parties because other people who have had issues, they never reached out to him. But since this other group reached out to him, that's why he was there for the first time. But
He doesn't have eyes to see.
take a look at the Molu now, the mobile Molu now as a civil rights activist versus the mobile Molu as chairman of the CDC. And then we can also talk about the point he's pushing. He said the president the president has 2 options. It's either he lead the country or he decides to leave the presidency. I mean, let's go around the table on this one. Let's hear from Alfred. And then
No, but Nelson, can I end my point and just incorporate that particular clip?
yeah,
Why you want to pass
we're going
by
to
me?
come to you. No, we're
No,
going to
don't
come
do
to
it
you
like that,
next.
man. Don't leave me in
No,
the hole.
no.
Don't do
No,
that,
Francis,
Nelson, man. I beg you, Nelson. Please don't do it.
I'm not leaving you in the hole. We are coming
No,
to
you
you.
leaving
We
me in
start
the hole
to you
because I
next.
didn't finish
You're
my
going to have
conversation.
your
You
time.
pop up the clip. Please,
Mr.
it's an
Donald,
appeal.
Mr. Donald,
Let
I
me
yield
incorporate
my
this
time to you.
transition here.
I
Let me
yield my time
incorporate
to
my
you.
end. Yeah,
I
because
yield my
it's
time to
similar
you.
story. Yeah,
I
let me
yield my
incorporate
time
my
to you. Go
stuff.
ahead.
Can we stick on the topic instead of history?
I
Because
yield my time to you. Go ahead.
Okay, so you give it to me, right, Afra? Yeah, thank you, Afra. All right,
So,
thank you.
guys, okay. So, for instance, you're going to make a point, but let's make this clear that we have one moderator on the show. We'll come up with a lineup of the conversation. It's fair that we go that way. It's not a good thing for us to be going back and forth. I have to go or I don't have to go. We have one moderator on the show, and I just hope we respect that. And let's just go by the conversation. I mean, no matter what it is, everybody will have their fair share of the conversation. But for instance, you can go. Alfred has already used his time to you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, Afra, and thank you, Nancy. But you told me say I will have it 30 seconds, by the way. Anyway, so let me just say something. Like I was saying, right? All the people there, we decided to carry the old paper because he experienced, he stands for the past. Okay? Especially to make sure all of us will live straight. Anybody do something wrong, the Lord deal with you. You do it right, you stay clear. That's why we made Joseph Boakai president. And inside the big law book, they call it, we the poor people call it constitution. That law book is the one that the first law book in our country. The Supreme Court is the last court that anybody can go to.
But for instance,
So the
honestly,
three
we
people of
know all of
government,
that. Can we? Yeah, we
but
know
I
all
don't
of
know how
that.
you want me to say this thing here. I don't know. You say I'm gonna incorporate and finish after give me time. Why can't you just give me chance? Let me finish. I gotta say it because it's related. Okay?
Finish
So,
up,
And
friend.
not the constitution thing we own yet, my people.
what if you narrating the history and your
I
time
have
means
to
and
narrate that how I want to
the
talk
time
tonight.
finished and you're
Why
not
you
talking
giving
about
me
this?
hard time? Why you ain't want me to say what I want to say? When my time finish, you cut me off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just cut me off when my time finish. Because I have to connect the dots.
Okay.
And the constitution we're talking about, the paper violating the law, my people. They
But
be law, but yeah, all the thing and the other people then do, it was bad for the country. That's why we brought the paper here to correct everything for our country to be all right, for the country to be easy, no palaver business too much. But the paper making all to keep talking to bring palaver. How you will say you go with the quorum people when the big law book say they not get quorum, when the big court all of us supposed to go to, when we move from there, we can't go nowhere. When they say the people there, that bad people there, then you, the president, you're supposed to enforce that one there. That one make it with people. Follow the law, Mr. President. Enforce the law. And that same law both say the
So yeah.
people, we are the first. And not president. It is us
Thank
that
you,
we the one
Francis.
deploying. I agree with
Thank
Mulu.
you.
I agree with Joy Howard Taylor. I agree with all the people then. The people then that do Baba thing and
Thank you,
include Joy
Francis.
Howard Taylor then.
Let's leave it there. Let's
A
leave it
Joseph
there
Walker
and
get
take time.
power, let him carry them to court. Stop talking
Thank you,
about the people
Francis.
batting in the past.
Alfred, you want to come in on this one before we transition? You listen to the former chairman of the CDC.
Nelson, first and foremost, Chairman Mulu is a Liberian and has a right to speak to his government as enshrined in Article 1 of our Constitution and Article 17. You know, that talk about free speech. With regards to his statement, I don't see, I don't think Mobile Molu has the political wherewithal to change anything, so to speak, in that country. He cannot do anything, but he's speaking his mind.
Even
In
as
as
former
much,
chairman of the CDC, you think he doesn't have the political, whatever you call it?
no, he does not. So he's speaking his mind. He's just telling the president, look, he's telling the president how frustrated he is, and the president need to listen. Because we have been down this road before. We saw what happened in the past. When President Doe failed to listen, when people talk to him, he said when 2 elephants were, that the grass will suffer. And we saw what happened. At the end of the day, it destroyed the country. So we want the president to listen. We want him to listen. Because we don't want to go back to the past. Because when people are afraid of, and when the rule of law is not being respected, it leads to chaos. And that's what the vice president was talking about. It leads to chaos. We got to be very mindful. There's 21 years of unrelated peace that we have experienced. We want to continue on this trajectory. We want to continue on this trajectory. So people like President Boakai, who we have brought to the limelight, needs to ensure that we remain on this path by making sure that the rule of law is followed. That's what we are saying. So Chairman Molu's statement has got nothing to do with threatening the government, because he does not have anything to change anything right now to say, okay, yeah, he will bring Joseph Boakai down, or he will do this. He does not have that.
AB, you want to come in this one?
You see, our country, we have unity partisans. You know, this is one of the freedom that we have given to Librarians, which of course they did not have before. Freedom for expressions. This is the freedom that we are giving. So we expect every one of them, for them to be able to express to be able to express their political will any way they want. We don't know, for me, we don't know whether Mulu is still chairperson of the CDC, or he's speaking as a civil servant, as a political group, or he's speaking as a public group, or he's speaking.
And that's another area of concern. That's another area of concern, AB, because Mulu, as you know, resigned from the CDC. He founded his civil rights movement. Now, he was speaking in his capacity this time around as the chairman of the civil rights group STAND.
Nelson, that's what I said. This freedom that we are giving to the Liberian people, they like it, they can be able to be talking from morning to night. All we are concentrating on currently is to do the good job for the Liberian people, and which of course we are doing. So I don't care what the thing is that when they come out with that statement, it will make the paper for you to be able to say, hey, it's not a mention me. No, we are seeing many. We are seeing many. So by him or by they coming to come speak like that, that will not make up for us to be able to come into our shop. But let me sound this as a caveat. As a citizen, you are entitled to your statement. But whatsoever statement made by you will be held reliable for that statement. I hope they are in a know before the police can invite them. Then they can't say, oh, the manager made a political statement, then the police can invite him. I hope they will take full responsibility of their statement that they are making.
Thank you,
Mulu, I don't know whether Mulu is a civil servant, a political group, or is a political party former chairman, or you speaking as a disbanded sedition, or you speaking. I don't even say no. So we don't care to know, and we will not know. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Senator Gay. You can go ahead and make your point. Amen.
Good evening, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we don't need the president to acknowledge whether Fanatikova is a legitimate speaker or not. That's not the president's place. The president is.
Amy, you want to mute because I'm hearing
the president. The president is there to abide by what the Supreme Court says.
I think like AB.
And if the president doesn't abide by what the Supreme Court says, the Liberian people, the power is inherent in the people. It's not inherent in the president.
You still here, Afra?
The power is inherent in the people, not the president. If the president like, he can operate with a non-quorum that he's prerogative, but he has an opportunity now, as per the comment made yesterday, to make the necessary adjustment. Or else, he will have himself to blame. Because the Liberian people will do it peacefully, but will make his job easy. We will be in the streets. We will demand him to abide by the rule of law. He always said, think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia. You can't think of Liberia if you cannot respect the rule of law. You can't build Liberia if you cannot respect the rule of law. And you cannot love Liberia in the absence of respecting the rule of law. That quote-unquote, the legislature is a political theater. Even in the theater, there are rules and regulations. Even war has rules of engagement. There is a Geneva rules of engagement. That's how war and economic crime code comes about. The criminal tribunal of a war. If a military man go outside of the way and do things that are not considered the rule of engagement, like massacre, raping women, all those different things, you are held accountable. But if you point your gun at a military man who also has a gun, you don't get court-martial for those things because it is war. It is the same thing in politics. You cannot practice politics void of the rule of law and the Constitution. And so the Supreme Court already gave the verdict. We don't need the president to tell who the legitimate speaker is or not. All we need the president to do is to do one thing and one thing only: abide by what the Supreme Court says. There is a reason why we have Article 65 and 66 of the Constitution of the Republic. This same president raised up his right hand to uphold, defend, and protect the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. And so help me God, he said those words. This is the time. Whenever JMB is given an opportunity to lead, he failed his people. He was the elder in the room when the CPP had an issue, he never delivered. He was the elder in the room when the whole saga started, he never delivered. Another opportunity is before his doorstep. It is up to him. He got up to Tuesday. If the people don't hear back, I like what the political party started today, but press conference is no longer an option.
Thank you.
Go to work and put the people in the street, but do it peacefully.
I like that. Thank you. So, my people are not coming back again. These people that come here again with a BB book in your ear, say they're quoting the big book, Constitution, this and that. They will never tell you that the Constitution, I come back again. There people they talking about the law in a country there. They will never tell you that the law telling the president, the president, like I said, 3 branches, or 3 different parts. I don't how you could look at that, but I think you can understand me when I say that one. They will never tell you say that the president supposed to go what the Supreme Court told that part of the government to do, that the president supposed to do it. The president did not tell you say he accept what the Constitution said. My brother came here, he said they don't need the president to accept it. Okay, so what are you crying about? The president said, I agree with the Constitution, that what the court said. I acknowledge it, I accept it. But I would not keep my people hungry. When they were hungry for 6 years, I was supposed to come. I told them I would come fix it. There are people that stood in the public and told me, say, because they didn't win. They said they will not make the country easy. They will not make it easy for me to succeed. They stood there, they said it, and they're doing everything in a weak way possible to make it happen. So they can come out 2029 and say, JMB wasn't leader, JMB didn't do anything. My brother Anthony come here with his opinion, a party of the CPP that were against JMB strongly. ANC come here telling you, say JMB didn't do this. Now who's supposed to say that one there? That him? Or when JMB people come, they will say JMB did the right thing. You see what we are? So the side where Anthony said, we're not expecting Anthony to come and tell all the truth. He will tell all the side, the one that he want to say to make JMB look better, when he will tell y'all. So that's why he's done here tonight. So that's not even the CPPT we're talking about here. We're talking about what's going on right now. And people keep beating a war drum. They're not beating drum when there is nobody can beat war drum or when no drugs in JFK. For you to go there, take your poor children there. But guess what? They're in the house. These people that are running around here calling themselves freedom, this one, they are this one, they are that one. They see more about Mulu here. They say things been happening where you been here. He said nobody call him. Oh, I tell you, say for the people again, they will call you before you can talk about it. So when the price is right, then you can come and be freedom talk off for the Liberian people. That's why you telling us here. That's why we tell you all the time. These people are wolfing sheep clothing. They're only there when now on that side. Mulu was chairman for 6 years. He has said him on. They called him on tape talking about how bad we are running the government. But Mulu never created any kind of pressure group to pressure Ria that you are doing the wrong thing. When we are moved for that, now all of a sudden my brother can see now. He's good man now. He let the Liberian people now. He now create pressure group. But the pressure group can come out when they say they couldn't for him, but somebody will call him first before he come. You're seeing it for yourself, Liberian people. Look around you. That's why I keep telling you. If JMB come here and not do what he promised me he will do, that I put my red face in front of you, you're costing me every night to tell you to vote for him. I myself will be there with him and can't enter no perfect sister. That's why when somebody is standing in his way for him to not do his job, I will also come here and expose them to you. JMB is not telling you say he's not doing what the Constitution, what the Supreme Court told him to do. My brother said there is no quorum in the Constitution. He came and lied to you again, brother Francis, with a history. He came and lied to you again. All right, y'all don't let these people to get in your head. They keep beating the war drum. When war happened right now, what happened to poor people in Liberia? Since I left my country, when I went by there in 2023. Some of other Google Liberia talk about, other people talk about sweet Liberia. We don't know it. Because that's also what we were born in with something. They will keep beating the war drum. When the war happened, they will be taking that family. Matter of fact, maybe that family they inside saying not here with me now. So that children they go to Google school then. That family they're not there. All the people there, Madam Vice President. I hate to go in people past. Well, Chancellor wife. And when I say Chancellor, you know what I mean to Liberia. Okay? That never talk about rule of law. Okay, let's say her husband was there. She was very with him. I mean, she was scared of him. Say he left when did she ever stand up for rule of law? Oh, they want JMB to go put the lawmaker in mattress and beat them up and kill them in this. And then he listened to the Constitution. When he not doing that, then he not listening to the Constitution. No, he cannot do that. He listening to the Constitution by giving everybody to work in their own place that they're supposed to work. He's sticking on his own side of the government. He said, I will stay on my lane. Everybody, the Constitution, the people they're talking about, get everybody work to do. And I will work with whoever, like the Constitution said, have the quorum. He never said, I'm not buying by the court ruling. That's not what he said. Don't let nobody come here, go on any other platform and lie to you. Because I will be there and tell you that they're lying to you.
10 seconds, please, Amy.
No, you hold on 10 seconds.
No, I don't want to. Please, Alfred, borrow me 10 seconds.
Amy, I don't want to speak, right? Or are you?
When I am running the show now,
I'm asking for 30 seconds.
We Nelson, what do you think? We transition
so guys,
so before we transition,
I mean, I think we can do. We can go to the phone lines. I don't know what you think. If everybody has spoken.
Yeah, everybody, but they can do 30 seconds.
Yeah, let me do my 30 seconds real quick because Amy said something that we need to correct real quick.
Yeah, and I'll be there to correct your correction too. Go ahead.
That is the thing, Amy.
Yes.
Your love for Judicial Independence should not take away.
It's not love. It's love for country, not just Independence. Let's correct that right now.
Listen here, man, sister. We can all pretend say we love country or not love countries. That's fine. But the truth of the matter here is, when you tell the Liberian people say that that war won't bring, nobody won't bring war.
I keep beating a drum.
Hold on. The thing what the president said we should respect the law that make everybody to follow the law. Don't go right, don't go left. The president say he hear what the Supreme Court say, but he say you only work with the side that have wrong. The Supreme Court say the people who say they have wrong, the thing what they wrong. That for nothing cover right. That's what the Supreme Court say. And the president say, even though the Supreme Court say what they say, but I will say work with the people who the Supreme Court say they wrong. That's what the president said to the country, and the reason why we're talking here. So the Kurukwa, we all can speak the Kurukwa.
Thank you. Go ahead, Alfred.
Look, my people. When you hear our sister talking about, about Joseph Boakai, I'm a strong supporter of Joseph Boakai.
Okay.
That today I come and talk on this show here. When they were doing their money collection, during the campaign,
tell us again.
I take my $500 and I pay to make sure that Joe will not become president again. I put my money behind the president. All of us on the issue here that support Joseph Boakai will pay money because Joseph Boakai said he was broke, he didn't get money. We supported him to be president. The reason why we support Joseph Boakai to be president is to follow the rule of law, to make sure that the country here is straight. But when the president can tell and just use politics and decide to use politics and not follow what he said he would do, it made us to criticize him. So criticizing the president doesn't mean that we hate the president. We not hate Mr. Boakai, yeah, my people. We want the president to do the right thing for us. Because one day, we will come back home. We won't come back home. We won't come to a country where it's in chaos. We want our country to be good for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one more thing before you go.
Thank you.
Joseph Boakai never gave us freedom. I just want to correct my brother and say the freedom that we have here is all of us. He never gave us freedom. So don't say.
Go ahead.
Don't mind. You can't lie to Joseph Boakai give us freedom.
Be mute. Go ahead, Francis. 30 seconds.
Sometimes people just have to talk because they get something to say because they love Joseph Boakai. I don't love nobody when it comes to this. I love my country. And Joseph Boakai said we should love our country. That's the only way we'll build our country. And in order to build our country, we must follow the rule of law. Are we going to attack his comfort now? Are we going to release everybody from the jailhouse? Because they did wrong. They went against the law. They committed a crime. And we tried it in our court. And that's why they are living in central prison. Are we going to get out of them out? Why we can't be honest? And in addition to that, when you say you acknowledge, it means you hear it in the Liberian way. I hear it. But you hear something, when you tell your child something, say, time to go to school, and they don't get out of their room, it means they didn't hear you or they heard you, but they didn't know you. And that's what Joe Boakai is doing. He hear it, he acknowledged the Supreme Court ruling, but he's not going by it. And the Supreme Court made it clear. I mean, don't take it from my leg. It's not my leg. The Supreme Court said because the speaker is present, he's not absent, he's not presiding over the session or the plenary, that make the body not to have a quorum. And Joe Boakai, you're Joe Boakai now, okay? He's going by that. And the Supreme Court said they are illegal. Okay, that's not a quorum. And he will go by that quorum. He also illegal. We should remove the comfort from him. That's what we should be doing now by protest. Yeah.
Go ahead, Abby.
But what are you people angry? Like, look at the comment section.
Anthony, stop, man. If you want to go, Mayflower, in come and go. Go ahead, Abby.
Like I said, JMB gave the Liberian people freedom of expressing their view. They just passed administration did not give us freedom. We know that. We know that. When you criticize, how many times they did not threaten Spoon to, in fact, they make several attempts to shut Spoon down. It is a Spoon now today that some of them going on for them to be out to express their view. The Spoon, what they wanted to close down, the Spoon now today, tonight, they're coming on to come to express themselves. We understand that. We know it. For us, we are concentrated on the working of the Liberian people, how best that we can be able to construct the road. The road that President Weah did not build, leading to his hometown. That is the road that we are concentrated on.
Thank you.
The Rafia Highway. That is the road. Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, let me tell y'all something. These people want to come in and debunk me. They don't even know what to how they can say debunking Kolokwa. They won't correct me, but they don't know what they're saying here. My brother Anthony said that
Anthony, don't talk. Don't talk. That's you talking, please.
No, we're going to the line when I finish. I'm the last person. My brother Anthony said the court said everything the people did was wrong. No, the court did not say that. The court said the way they removed from Kofa was wrong. The court did not say everything is funny. That's why he said yeah. So this is why I said they're misleading. They come here, they won't lie to you, because and they think the people that are supposed to be getting involved with, they're not getting involved with them. I will say it again. The president did not appoint these people. You the one voted for them. So the president can't move them. The president said that I hear you. I accept it. That's what acknowledge me. To accept and admit. That's what acknowledge me. He didn't say I hear you, but he know you. Don't let Mr. History come here and lie to you. He said I accept it. But then again, I will not stop what I'm doing for the Liberian people, to put my hand between my legs for the people to be taking pay. That benefiting, they get it. When they get said they can get implant to go to Ghana. They get said they get money, they can go to America. Then you, no drug going to JFK for you, no road for you, no food for you, but nothing happening to them. But they're making noise. I will not say here. The person who have the highest number, like the Constitution, quorum, that be what they can say that I don't know what I want me in law or in something. I will work with them to keep doing the Liberian people job till they come together and figure that thing out. That's what the president said. Don't let nobody come lie to you. Yesterday, the president breaking the law. The people that's ought to be transferring that vestation to their house, they're not doing it. But that's to tell you that they just want to get relevant to move their president or to come to each one of them now and tell you the president ain't do nothing. That's what they want to do. That's why everything that going on here, they want to bring it to the president. The president can't make the people then to do anything they don't want to do. The president can remove the car from Rachel Kuhn. He can remove every security from Rachel Kuhn.
Need to do first.
But he will not force Rachel Kuhn to go send out for Nati Kofa to do the Liberian people work. That's a lie. Nobody can do. He can't do that. So what he tells security back to Kofa, and not true. He can't do anything.
Anthony, you can be civil for a second, man.
Why you be talking on the Nelson? I go to the phone line. Seriously.
So, guys, I think we can go to the phone lines now. So, folks, let me put the number up to call in case you have an input to make. This is the Late Night Show, the Late Night Politics on Spoon. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Let me see if I can have the number up to call in case you want to make an input. Just if you guys have a number you want to put up, you could put it up and then we can take some questions there. But
guess they want to come on the show, Nelson. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, sure. If the guys can come tomorrow.
Hello, you are live. Let's hear you.
Hello, Nelson.
Yeah, hello, sir. You're live. Go ahead.
Good evening to the fellow panelists. So I listened to the topic tonight. We're backing the president. You get me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
We're backing the president. We don't want no trouble in our country. So we're backing him. We're backing him for the people to go back on the drawing board. The representative. So they can go back on the drawing board to see how best to get it normal. If they want to vote for Atiko Farah, they can vote him out. I was really disappointed in the president because what we really expect him to do is not doing what we expected him to do. Because some of our family go under the ring for the business to just go and make him out of president. But for him to fulfill the Liberian people, it's something different.
Thank you.
So we're begging Joseph Boakai.
Hello.
He thought on rescue. Then he rescued the people.
Bit, sir.
Yeah, the people, they put him on rescue, and then he rescued the people.
Thank you. Let's read and take another caller here. Hello, you're live.
Yes. Hello, Nelson. How you doing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for everybody that contributing. But Nelson, I had a question.
Please say your name first and where you call from.
Okay, my name is Emmanuel, calling from Virginia.
Okay.
I had a question, Nelson, that But there are two things that I had a question that acknowledge. I want for her to come to acknowledge. I acknowledge that Papa is an old Papa. But if I acknowledge that he is an old Papa by telling him sit down on the ground. So what it means, I acknowledge that he's an old man and I'm telling him to sit down on the ground. That is number one. Number two, our personal statement. It has been used, interpreted in another way. And other people say that other Liberians that are making their statement, they're misleading the Liberians. But then at the same token, the person who's speaking is also misleading Liberia. I want for you to read what the president said. Did the president say that anybody that has a quorum, he will work with the president? That what the president said? He said, anyone that has quorum, he will work with that president. That what the president said, or for the president to say what the president said to me, I feel that the president said, whoever had the quorum, they will work. If that is your own interpretation, say me. But don't say that what the president said. I want for you to please read what the president said about that quorum.
Thank you.
What
Thank
he
you.
said, everybody that have, everyone that have
let's hold you
whether
there.
that the president going to work with her.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you.
I don't want for the Ireland to know.
Thank you very much. Hello, you are live. Your name and where you come from? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hey, good evening. Yeah, good evening, Nelson.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Marcus Balasel. Kono, how are you?
Yeah,
hey,
go
Marcus
ahead.
Calling from Memphis, New Jersey.
Yeah, go ahead.
You see, what I want to say is that I don't know why everybody just shipping blame on the president.
Thank you.
You see, now Francis Kufa do not have the 37 men that are supposed to make to get quorum. We got 3 separate branch of government. So the legal aspect are finished. So the political aspect of what the president got to do there. So it leave with them and the both leaders to put that ego one side and put like people first and see how they can work together.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than continue shaving blame on the president. Okay, thank you. That's what I want to say.
Thank you very much for your input. This person. Hello. Let's take this person.
President.
So this person here. Hello. Go ahead. You're live. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. You're live.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Go ahead. You're live.
Oh, yes. This is Monkoi Doma.
Go ahead,
Hello?
sir. Go ahead, sir. You're live on the show.
Okay, this is Monkoi Doma. I'm calling from Philadelphia.
Okay.
The issue about the split in the legislature and the presidency of Liberia. Listen, people should not be beating around the bush for nothing. In third world countries, especially African countries, the president has absolute power. Okay, let's agree the president is supposed to be neutral. But those legislators that belong to the president's party, when they go to party meeting, the president is the standard bearer there. He's the highest person in their party conference, in the executive committee. The president needs to talk to them. The president here in nothing. Nobody should polish it. If President Bouakai wants that thing to stop today, it will stop. He will go through his partisans in the national legislature. He doesn't want to do it because he's here in it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. So let's see if we can take another person here. You can call the WhatsApp number, strolling. We can take like 3 more calls and then we wrap up for tonight. Let's see if we can take this person. Hello. Okay, so we lost that person. So I think we can come back to do our closing. I think we can come back to do our closing. Yeah. So, Emmy, you want to take over? And I think
Go ahead, Anthony.
I'm grateful to God to be 45 years old and look this good. So if you think I speak,
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, my birthday was February 15th. So I was born 1980. I'm 45 years old. I'm not a baby
guys,
boy. And
sorry.
people say I look too.
Hold on one second, Anthony.
Good morning.
One second, Anthony. Sorry, let's just squeeze this person in quickly. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. Just come in quickly.
Yes, good morning. I'm Damson and calling from Ghana.
From Ghana, go ahead.
You know yes. Yes, people just want to create program for our own country. Liberia is everything we have right now. The president said he acknowledged what the Supreme Court said. That was fine. The president also made it clear that the group that will have the quorum, if Funati Kofa can talk to a colleague to come on him, the president will work with him. But if Funati Kofa cannot play a game where to convince a colleague to come on him, the president will work with the group that have the highest number. That's why he said the quorum. The president didn't say you would have ruled by the Supreme Court. No. The president accepted it. So you're waiting to work with whoever. It can be Funati Kofa, it can be Richard Kuhn as well. So let's get it clear, at least for the sake of our country, and start keeping all kind of statements. Other people saying all type of things.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You love JMB, you love JMB. That's your business.
So, Anthony, you can do your closing.
My opinion is not to be attacked. I feel this way because I have the conviction in my heart. And everyone is entitled to that opinion. If you attack my opinion, that means you are not capable enough to discuss national issue. This is my opinion. In my opinion, and how civil is taught, the executive branch execute the law, meaning enforce the law, meaning the government have the power to say, don't do the one to do, and when you do the one, like, this one will happen to you. That the president has that power. Nobody else. The president has absolute executive power that nobody else has had in that country. And so, Funati Kofa, security detail were taken from him. Funati Kofa have no speakership privileges, all those things were taken from him. Since the court said this, and the president respect the court, Funati security detail need to be returned to him immediately. He does not need to ask for it because he is the legitimate elected speaker of the House of Representatives. Two persons already. One have made public statement, the other person will make a public statement tomorrow. Representative from the majority bloc going to Funati Kofa side. Before Tuesday, Funati Kofa will have 36 or 37 members. You will have quorum. They're coming back on the 13th of May. That will be that return to section. That will be official return, the 13th of May. The protest will happen before the 13th of May. The Liberian people are sick and tired. Nobody won't be telling spouse story. Oh, like the international community. We don't have time for international community now. This is the moment I want to applaud all the opposition parties that came together today to have that meeting and no more press conference. That boots on the ground. Peaceful boots on the ground. You love Liberia, you think Liberia, you must respect the law of Liberia. Period.
When you put your boots on the ground, go ahead, Alfred.
Let me borrow the voice of the former U.S. Ambassador McCarthy. If J.J. Ramos was alive today, what would he say to the chaos that we are experiencing and witnessing from our national legislature? If J.J. Ramos was alive today, what would he say? When a president cannot enforce the law, what would J.J. Ramos say? So, my people, what we are saying here, it has the propensity of making our country to retrogress or to progress. No one should deny the fact that the rule of law, if it's not followed, then we can just merely say it. It is the rule of law that makes us to exist as a people. Without the rule of law, there is no country called Liberia. You will not find any people called Liberians. It is the rule of law that makes us to be identified as Liberians. So if we have a president that want to play politics with the growing situation that's happening in the country for the last 6 months, under his leadership, and he has not been able to bring it under control, and he's still playing politics with it, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Because if this president wants this to end, it will end one day. But he's still embodying these guys. Rachel Kuhn, right after the Supreme Court ruling, he went on Facebook, he went and wrote big that he rejects what the Supreme Court says. Now, let me just say this to you. It is not for the president to agree or disagree with what the Supreme Court says. The Constitution is very clear that the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice in the country. So when the Supreme Court brings down a ruling, the Supreme Court will be blind. It's supposed to be blind. So when it comes down with a ruling, it's not for the president to agree or disagree. The only thing he has to do is to enforce what the Supreme Court says. That's why I make a law. My people, anything that the Supreme Court says, it becomes law. Then not only our legislator can make law. No, anything the Supreme Court says, it becomes law. So the ruling from the Supreme Court is a law. What the president is supposed to do now is to enforce it. And if he fails to do that, that is a violation of his duty. That is dereliction of duty, and we have to call the president to account for it. And that's why we are saying we'll continue to call the president to come to the realization that he has to uphold the rule of law.
Thank you.
That's why we elected him, and we'll continue to call him. So anybody can say, "Oh, you say you love the president, then you criticizing the president." Is the right thing to do, to criticize the president when he goes wrong, so that he can make it right. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, maybe.
Well, people, what I want to say here, it is just very simple and straightforward. Our country, every one of you guys are seeing how our country is moving forward in terms of development. We will not go on the rampage by listening to some skewis kawats.
What is that?
We will not go about listening to people under the sycamore tree. We will not do that. We are straightforward. We are moving forward in the interest of the Liberian people because we came to rescue. We are indeed rescuing the country. As you can see, the road network is ongoing. You see the water and sanitation is progress have been made. The fuel progress have been made. So we'll allow them to talk the talk, but we will do the do. Because that's what they are noted for, to just talk tapata. They think that by them talking yo, that means that the Liberian people will listen to them. No. JMB is a do president. And so on this note,
you say he's wasn't the president, do president?
Do president. I don't know what that means, but okay, I accept it.
He said,
let me repeat
myself.
myself.
Say JMB is a do president? Do?
Is a do.
I'm trying to get that aspect.
You know, the tapata, the people that want can talk the talk, and we can do the do.
Hey man, thank you, Abby. Y'all, he gave me here tonight. Y'all got me stretching my soul, making it.
So the people.
But Abby, that's my first time hearing the do president. I thought you was talking to Mr. Cummings.
Okay, that's the first time to hear that from me.
Nelson, please don't go prolong our time
here. But our our president is not like the so-called tapata people who can just talk, they cannot be able to do. They can just talk. But for us, we don't talk, but we will do.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So let me end on this.
They don't want to explain to him.
Let me end on this note.
Let's go ahead with the president. They don't get in the rest of the lecture. What do they do me?
Let me end on this.
Let
me end on this note. Let me say kudos to our honorable vice president for the campaign ran breathfully. The message was on point. I mean, no one, and I see the presidency in you, in your album. When I look in your eye, I see presidency. Thank you.
Go ahead.
All right. The historian is back. I am very glad that I'm referred to tonight by my own sister Amy as historian. I'm very glad. I know you can call me or in 30 seconds because I listen to everybody.
Don't come here with that.
I'm gonna come with it though. So get ready to cut me off. I'm gonna come with history because history is good. And my buddy Anthony here can admit to that, including Alfred. Let me borrow the few last phrases of the late Dr. Martin Luther King doing the civil rights advocacy, the end part of it before his death. Dr. Luther said, all of the American people at the time, by all means and by all costs, through non-violence, needed to do something. He said, unquote, if you cannot fly, you should run. If you can't run, you should walk. If you cannot walk, you should crawl. But by all means, all of us, we must do something. And that history, it comes back to us today. With the triviality that have been preached. Let me borrow from Joel. By the first citizen of Liberia. Please give me a chance. Let me finish my thought, please. Just go in your room. I'm coming. Mama, boy, you're sorry. This thing here is not only that President Walker is president, President Walker from history or historical path, besides Charles D.B. King and the late Toba, he's the third person that have the kind of experience that he had before we make him president of our country. Number one. Number two, he was 79 years old when we elected him. Now he's 80. Statesman, the elder in the house, a grandfather, great-grandfather. It is a shame that you can say you acknowledge, you hear it the way the Liberian people say, you hear it, but Mr. Sit down. Like the word is, Papi, I respect you, but sit down. They push you down. If you hear it, you acknowledge the Supreme Court ruling, you act. Your action is what we're looking at. The last 24 hours and the ruling came down, beside the statement he made, President Walker have not done anything as the head of the executive, the head of the government, and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia. He have done nothing. That means he hear it, he acknowledge it, but he gonna do shit. He gonna deal with the illegal people. The people that did ugly yesterday, the people that did ugly, that did all the bad things, that were part of the reason we elected President Walker. Anti-corruption, he need to fight corruption. He ain't fighting that. He said it's corrupt. So if he say you cannot abide by the law and you're the one supposed to enforce the law and you are not doing it, then all the honor, we need to take the police people out of the street. That's why he's telling us. And I will endorse any nationwide protest to get President Walker out of the mansion if he cannot abide by the law. I want to say thanks to everybody tonight. Yo, thank you. The other people advised other people yesterday, and that's the reasons why we find ourselves where we are. And if President Barker continue on this path, he's going to be just like them.
Thank you.
It's not a threat. It's just a history. That's what happened yesterday. It can happen today if the occupants of the executive mansion cannot change.
Thank you.
And all of us, we must do something. Even if we are crying, we will do something. And that's why we are here. We will do something.
Thank you.
Protest, protest, protest.
My Liberian people, right? I'll come back to you to tell you. People are sitting in America. That children ain't talking rest out there. Your children, they say in Liberia there. You can't even get food to eat, but they tell you say you go do war because war happened yesterday. When they removed Cabinet Janet, we never had war. When they removed Edwin Snow, we never had war. When they removed, what the other guy name? Nukwe, we never had war. But Fanatikofa Bene will have war in the country again. Everybody that beating that war will happen right in your own house, with your children, with your family. Not with the innocent people in Liberia who are suffering and still suffering. There will be no more war in Liberia. Okay? And I come back to you. People are talking about, somebody called said the president has absolute power. He got he the head of his party or something. He can make the people then to do something. That's a lie. So why, President, we are now forced Thomas Fada to sit down and do what he's done? What they did. When Thomas Fada is in there kicking out of the party, that all they can do to the president, other people, if other party people agree with it, the president cannot kick them out of the party either. If the executive members agree, then they will kick that person out of the party. They cannot do anything else. So don't let that call a lie to you say, because if from the president party, he can make it. Then if that was the case, Thomas Fada would have been with the minority leader right now. Minority people, so-called, quote-unquote, rule of law. But they can go in Capitol Building and be breaking things and cutting my calling out the rule of law that they're following. Our people that come in sitting here because they're looking for chances for that other people, so they won't come tell you. Me, I'm here for the Liberian people. The president said that. I acknowledge. And I will say again, the president never, it's a lie. The president never said he will not listen to the Supreme Court. First of all, the Supreme Court never told the president, say, you need to do X, Y, and Z. The Supreme Court told the House of Representatives, y'all need to go back and do it this way. The Supreme Court never told the president, say, you got to do that. And for the Supreme Court, for the president to tell the Supreme Court, say, I'm not listening to what you're doing. Don't let nobody come here and fool you. And if God got breath in me and I'm breathing, I would be here every day to come tell you that they're lying to you. They can come and speak all that BB boy here. We will come and speak all small boy there, and we'll tell you the truth. Since they've been the so-called quote-unquote rule of law, they've been following the law and rule in our country. How much has that changed your life, my Liberian people? It only been benefiting the so-called politicians that claim to care for you. The people that are beating war drum today, there was someone that was there in America flying. They came down there. Madam Joa Howard Taylor, her husband was there when they were fighting war. Nothing affected her. Her children here with me in America. Nothing will affect them. Brother friend said right now, you hear children causing not near him? They're not there. Nothing will happen to them. That y'all can get in the street and protest. A part of the Constitution. Nothing wrong with that. But peace, do it in peace. That's what the Constitution said. You will not go and be throwing rocks to the police, trying to hurt somebody on the pa, somebody on a brother, somebody on a nephew. Then you think they will stand there and fold out here because you protested. No. If you turn violent, they will respond with violence. If you're peaceful, they will be peaceful. It is your right to gather. But where you're supposed to gather is to the House of Representatives. They're the one doing the stupid thing. They're not the president. Don't let nobody come here and fool you because they want you to look at President President Bwaka in the bad way. The president did what he said. He did. He can do what he said he would do. He said, well, he will work with anyone who has quorum. That's what he said. So they can come here and speak all that BB to lie to you for the sake of that people need to run campaign that haven't started yet. They want President Bwaka said, I will not fold my hand for my people to suffer because for the representatives that are fighting to be taking pay, for them to be getting that benefits, for them to be doing everything. And then I should say here, for while the Liberian people suffer, no, I will not do that. I agree. I accept it with the Supreme Court ruling, but I will be doing the Liberian people business so they can get it together. That's why I would call the elders, the church council or churches, let it go and talk to them. What in bad in that one that somebody want to bring war, my Liberian people? What in bad in that one there? The people that are passing around beating war drum because we fought war before someone fight it again. They ain't the president who want to bring war to you. Don't listen to them. Just look at what's going on around you, what the president is doing, and what the so-called people are like you doing. Then you can be the judge of that. Thank you, Nelson.
When the Supreme Court speaks, church or council has no power to do anything.
I want to say thanks to everyone. It's been a great show. It's been a great show. I want to say thanks to you, Emmy. Thank you, thank you, Fambule. Not Fambule, but Anthony. Thank you, Alfred, and thanks to AB as well. And to Francis in the background, Alita was here, and all of the folks, we appreciate you for being here. We look forward to coming back tomorrow. Until then, have a good day. And of course, thanks to our audience, Ruth Goba, Thomas Davis, William, William Jala, Archie, Unbreakable Tape, H. Davlers, and everyone. We appreciate you for being on tonight. We look forward to a great show tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. And bye-bye for now. Mr. Gibson Jeru, thanks for being on tonight. Josephus Thomas, we appreciate all of you guys and have a good night.